Why are we not live? Do not appear to be going live, which is weird. I've not even got the spinny wheel. It's a bit concerning.
Trying to see where it is. I don't see
Yeah, I
nothing.
don't know why it doesn't appear to be going. Oh, yeah. We're good. We're good.
All right.
Ladies and
I got
gentlemen,
the-
hi. Yes. Although, but I've no comments, which is quite. Why have I no comments?
A lot of comments.
Okay, can't see the comments. Wait a minute. Need to muck around with it a little bit. It's kind of much of a show without seeing the comments. What the frig?
Hey guys.
Let us. Why can't I see comments? Always different there. Let's put there.
Neil is.
Oh, there. Yes.
I'm kind of impressed that he knows how to use video call or something.
I just found the new button. Yes. Comment. Listen.
There we go.
It's been a long weekend. Don't start.
No.
It's all right for you. I've only been home for about an hour and a half. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the fix. Show what show? 218, ladies and gentlemen. Show 208, 218 shows. Who knew it would take that long for arm wrestling to implode? I shouldn't laugh. Mate, how's everybody doing? You all right? Ray, you all right, son? Yeah? Happy guy? Happy-go-lucky guy? Have you put on your skin cream tonight and come on here in full zest and vigor? Ready for another wonderful night on the fix? Do you know you've given more than 2 years of your life to this? It's got to be 4 years now, isn't it? I mean, I know you've not been on them all.
I think so. Yeah.
Think what Terence has done in that 4 years.
No, I haven't been. I haven't been on a fix for 4 years, but I was flying for 4 years.
There you go.
Yeah. You know how far England
Terence
is.
Hoffman, ladies and gentlemen, you do now. Terence is the king of South Africa. Tell him what you are, Terence.
I'm the strongest arm wrestler in the Southern Hemisphere.
In the entire Southern Hemisphere. Do you want more of that, ladies? I'll go the way. What about that? Tell you what, just before we start and we get into arm wrestling stuff. So last night, sellout Royal Albert Hall. We had like 6,500 people in the Royal Albert Hall. Absolutely a mega event. Apart from the fact it was 275 degrees. But other than that, and I was a fat dude in a suit. Other than that, it was an amazing show. And part way through it, we had a special guest lifter, which was the remarkable Mr. Mark Felix, who lives just down the road. 59 years old, Mark Felix. And we pay compliments to John and Ron and all the old buggers, Toddzilla. I'm going to say none of them have anything on Mark Felix. Mark Felix, you want to see the physique on that guy? The 50, you've never seen anything like it in your life. He looks like a frigging underwear model. He looks like a 25. You've never seen anything like it, lads. It's sick.
How old are you, Neil?
How old am I?
Yeah.
I'm 51 years old, Raymond. And go on,
so you probably look the same at 50. But the 51 that's where the line is, right? As soon as you cross over.
Listen, it's all real.
Yeah.
That's right. It's all real. Solid steel and sex appeal. Every inch is real. Do you want to feel? He was a poet and didn't know it. We should get serious. This is a night of serious. Let's have a look at some comments. We had any super chats? We probably did.
I don't know, super chat. I saw one of the comments. I really liked it. It said, like, the match that we need to have is Michael Monster God versus Devon Larratt.
Michael Monster God.
Yes.
Yep.
Versus Devon Larratt.
Devon Larratt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell you what. Proven Astrology, your message has just been retracted. Why Proven Astrology? What did he say? Did Did he call me a? Because don't worry, Ray does that regularly. Plus, he's pre-sacked me. So, yeah, there's worse. Now, let's have a look. Please, miss, shag me Villy. We're off early. We haven't even got going yet. And please, miss, shag me Villy's in. It's ridiculous. This is what you. This is it, Terence. Right? This is
Who
what you
told us
aspire
that
to.
one?
So, thank you, please, miss, shag me Villy. Love you guys. I love arm wrestling. He's put, I love arm wrestling, and he also loves discotheque. I'll tell you what, please, miss, I don't know you, son, but you sound right up my street. He loves arm wrestling and discotheque. Well, it's funny you should say that because we had a dance off only the other day, didn't we, Rolly?
Yeah.
37-time world champion.
World champion, Terence Opperman.
Yeah. He was going to come out of retirement.
Yeah, but the pinky. Yeah, yeah.
Well, he damaged it, didn't he, doing the worm?
Yeah, yeah.
Damaged it doing the worm.
The worm. Travis with the worm.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
It was quite some worm, to be fair. To be fair. I want to know what Proven Astrology's message was that's now been retracted. It must have been something quite serious. Must have been something pretty serious. So, guys in the chat, I'll try and catch up and see how everybody's doing. I've been to the Royal Albert Hall this weekend, so I've been pretty much off social media. And I got a message from Rawley, said, "Hey, Fatty, are we doing anything tonight or what?" Because he's a busy man. So I wrote back and said, "Look, Ray, for you, son, we'll do it. We'll go on the fix." Yeah. Little did I know at that point that the world had exploded in the last 2 days.
Yeah. It actually, like after you wrote, like I think 2 hours later, the world exploded.
Was that when it was in that period of time? Now, I have not actually seen the videos.
Yeah.
But I was in the meeting. I will actually watch that again. But I was in the meeting, so I know exactly what Devon said. I know what Robert said. I know what everybody said.
Yeah.
And I believe that both Devon and Engin have put out another set of videos. I've talked to Dev. It's very late for Engin over there, so I'm not going to call Engin. I've only been home for a short period of time. But is it me or are you bored?
Bored?
Yeah, I'm bored shitless of it. Honestly,
yeah, I'm looking forward to arm wrestling. I'm like, I want this to end. I don't like this.
It's got to the state. I know everyone likes a bit of drama, but it's now really boring for me. I'm just bored shit. Can we not do some arm wrestling?
Yes, because this is all we just right now, as I can see and everyone can see, East versus West is just it's on standstill. So there's nothing happening, right? So we don't know. Probably Azerbaijan, from all the information that's out there, will not happen.
Okay, that's new.
Yeah.
So the last I had heard was that Azerbaijan was going ahead.
See, like I don't know.
But wait a minute, Dateline check. That was Thursday night before I went down to.
Oh, man, that was like three months ago on internet time.
Yeah. So now, just catching me up, Azerbaijan is now not happening. That's confirmed. Is it by whom?
Like by rumors, it's probably not going to happen.
Okay. So not actually confirmed. Then we don't know.
Yeah, no one knows. Like because East versus West hasn't made the statement yet. So we'll see. But again, no movement, nothing. Usually it's lots. So I think it's still going on. They're trying to make a probably deal with Engin, right? However, what the deal is going to be, and everyone's just waiting on it. It's a big mess. Like how we got here, it is incredible. Listen, last year we were in probably the best moment for arm wrestling ever. We're moving like in a speed of light, and now we're sitting here. Everyone's pointing fingers at everyone. Everyone's hating on everyone. And it's so.
Has there actually been anything come out in the last couple of days then that's sort of note? Anything significant? Anything that's actually important, or is it more just mudslinging and aggro?
I would say things that you and me knew, they are now more known for everyone else.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, no. Listen, I understand everybody likes a bit of drama now and again, but for me, once it goes on for a few weeks, it just gets boring, if I'm perfectly honest.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think, my personal opinion from speaking to the two men, I, I, I struggle to see that Engen and Devon are going to like each other again, period.
But
I
they
think they're
should
oil
like,
and water.
yeah, but
Uh,
they
honestly,
shouldn't. Like, who cares,
it
right?
doesn't matter to
We
me. I
can
don't
move
mean,
forward. We can move forward with
listen,
arm wrestling. Like,
I,
who cares?
hey, I worked at a company for a significant number of years,
Yeah.
and I was not a fan of one of the directors in that company.
I hate your
Wasn't to
guts,
me.
and still we can work together perfectly.
You just got to crack on at the end of the day.
Yeah.
What do you think, Terence?
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of boring, like Alex. Remember Alex?
It's not that level. Alex is
Not
Alex
that
is
level.
Alex has peaked out. He is the most
No, he's
guy.
highest level boring.
He's
Yeah.
making boring cool again, isn't he?
I just think
Yeah,
it,
he's.
I just think they it doesn't matter that they don't like each other. They don't even have to work together, but like business is business. They can move along, you know.
Just
If they're
on a serious point here, the date of Azerbaijan, unless I've missed something, and anybody in the chat or anybody on here correct me if I have, but the date of Azerbaijan that I was aware of was that it was now the 2nd of August, yeah? Because I was going to go to Azerbaijan had it been on the 9th of August. I was booked to go and had agreed to go. Um, now, it's moved to the week earlier. I can't go. So that's the week of the 2nd of August. We are now the 6th of July. Without pouring cold water on it, you need to get your ass in gear because we're super frigging just from organizing my own events. Unless you've got everything pinned in, you're gonna struggle, in my opinion. I mean, people are not going to be booking it. You've got your live show element, which is going to be super problematic for everybody because who would want to book, pay for the trips, do whatever, and then it not be on? Ridiculous situation, really.
Yes.
So, I know. I
yeah.
struggle to.
I think it's all like of course we don't know. They know what are the all the details with Azerbaijan event and everything else. Like if they could pull off two events in like 2 week time, why not? Like it's
Are
great. Like
you going, Ray? Azerbaijan? Are you available to go? If the event comes off, are
I'm
you
still
going?
on as far as I know, I'm still on my vacation. No one has really like I talk with Engin, I talk with Robert, but there's no details been exchanged, nothing. So
Send
it's
a
all been just like,
super chat.
something like this. We want to bring you back and that's it.
Talk about Engin's recent attack on Ozzy's channel. Okay, I
Oh,
know very little about it apart from speaking to Rolly earlier tonight,
yeah, I saw the video and I told
and
you. Yeah.
basically that is what there's been a copyright
So
infringement by.
So there's a leaked video of a phone call that Engin made to one of the fans.
Yep,
I think
I know
everyone
about that.
knows,
Yep,
right? And Ozzy put it on his channel because he was tagged, and then they sent it to him, and he got copyright strikes about like all the things that he has reacted to, done something with East versus West and something, and like you can see there, the video is still there. Everyone can go and check it out.
okay.
Um, I I don't think that's actually is legal to do, but you know, I don't know. I don't know. Everyone knows that
Yes.
there's no love between Engin and
Jake
Ozzy.
and Engin don't get on.
No.
No, and has Jake actually infringed anything? Because he's quite clued up, Jake, isn't he? And in terms of YouTube world and
Yeah,
what he can and can't do. Uh, I mean, obviously,
no idea.
if
No,
he's
I don't know what kind of laws and where they work and what is happening, but like someone gives you like a phone call, can you post like what are you know what I mean? Because it's not if I didn't know someone was recording me and then they posted, am I allowed to take it down? So I
yeah.
don't know all the details there. Probably smarter people knows, but
Mm.
it's just The whole situation is just it's just crazy. It's just crazy. Starting with the phone call and ending with Ozzy having multiple strikes on his channel. You know.
I'll be honest with you. If there was a lot of extremely constructive stuff coming out of it, and we were getting to a situation where there was a lot of stuff which is genuinely targeted at the improvement of the sport, I'd play along with it and I'd be like, this is beneficial. Having spoken, I haven't spoken to Engin today. I did speak to Devon briefly. He seemed bored of it, to be honest. Seemed like he'd had enough. Devon's biggest thing seemed to be that it was getting a bit out of hand and he just wants to bloody arm wrestle someone. But he also said that he's struggling to find someone at the moment that's available to arm wrestling. That makes life very difficult. I mean, obviously there's the Azerbaijan thing. I don't know how that's going to go down, but if I'm in the situation that East versus West are in now, if they could keep the discussions with Engin going, but sort of let those boil over in the background a little bit and keep them cracking, I do think they want to get back to get into a situation where they're focusing on putting events on. And at this point, if they're super distracted by just discussions with Engin, between Engin and Devon and so on, they're not going to be able to do that. And just the brutal fact that Robert's poured a tremendous amount of money, his own family money, into this, and we're very lucky to have him do that, to be honest. I do think there needs to be a point, and East versus West, they'll do what they want to do. The big boys, they can make their own decisions. But for me, I think they need to sort of publicly draw a close on things and just say, look, let's park that. We'll continue to do that. But for now, let's focus on delivering Azerbaijan and delivering Brian's gig. So they focus on getting Azerbaijan solid. And if it's not Engin able to do that, and he can't do that, then they should talk to whoever is the guy at Azerbaijan and understand what he's got in place, whether he's got all of the elements that he's going to need in place. The other thing is, if Devon's not going to go there, they need to focus on getting a card that's of enough significance, of enough importance to the viewers that they want to buy it. Get another replacement match, and just bump Devon and Vitali down the tracks a bit to the next viable option. Because let's be honest, everybody wants to see that match. Who don't want to see that match? I don't know. I just think they need to get back to doing. Let's have a look at some of these comments. Amanda Reba, thank you very much for your super chat, Amanda. Are you scared to talk about Engin's wrongdoings? Amanda, it's not a fight that I want to get involved with because I'm not involved in it. If they want to discuss what happens with East versus West, if they want to sort that out, awesome, crack on. Sort it out. I've got my opinions. I don't think that that me jumping in and trying to inflame the situation on either side, it actually helps the sport at all. If you guys in the comments disagree with that, as I'm sure a lot of you will, then fair enough. I don't really see how it benefits anything. Yeah. I would think, and again, Amanda, correct me if I'm wrong, or Ananda, sorry, not even Amanda. So that's somebody I've offended. Ananda. I don't know what I'm able to tell you that you can't hear from Devon and Engin themselves. The guys are online every day doing videos, uploading videos, clearly. And they're the people that have been discussing it one-to-one and through East versus West. So I'm not sure how I bring more than they can. They've got more clarity on it than I have because I wasn't in the discussions, and I've heard other things. I've heard comments. I've heard opinions. Devon's opinion, I hear. Engin's opinion, I hear. I've got my opinion on that there's where all of that equation lies. And my opinion is that we need to sack it and crack on and get back into arm wrestling before we do more harm to the sport than we've done in building the bloody thing up. At this point in time, as Ray said, we're in a situation where arm wrestling's been on the rise in a very big way. Last night, I was walking around the Royal Albert Hall, and in there we had 6,500 people. Obviously, 90% of them are hardcore strongman fans. But it was really interesting because as you're walking around, there are people in there that are following and invested in the sport of arm wrestling. We're starting to get some real traction. And what makes that really interesting is that I don't think would have been the case 4 or 5 years ago. It is the case now. We're getting a real resurgence in the sport. And at some point, we've got to get back to putting on big matches. Otherwise, we get to a situation where it does burn out and everybody's sick of it. Everything's been said, and yet we've had no bloody arm wrestling matches. Am I alone in thinking that doesn't benefit anybody?
Oh, I agree with you, Neil.
I mean,
I think Devon and Ingen can come to some sort of agreement, like a gentleman's agreement, to work together, even though they don't like each other. Because I was watching the videos they put on the internet just now, and it was kind of decent videos. It's like they still have respect for each other. So I think it's not a case of they won't be able to restore the relationship between them. So I think just give some time for healing, and then I think we'll be back in putting up some good arm wrestling competitions again.
so I spoke to Engin last week, and Engin told me that he said, just to be clear, Neil, I do not want any of the Eastern European guys to not arm wrestle. Just to be clear, that is not what I want. Okay. And I said, oh, that's bloody great news. And he said, yeah, I've no interest in that. That's not what I'm trying to do. They don't want to arm wrestle without me there and without me involved. Now, that's a bit of a risky situation, really, because if you've got a scenario where everybody only trusts one person, that in itself is problematic. Let's say, for example, I'm involved in arm wars and something terrible happens. I have a car accident, I get killed or something like that. You've got to be able to crack on. It can't be that one person has to be involved in order for the sport of arm wrestling to go forward. Evening, Devon.
Yeah.
Just,
I called dibs on arm wars. I called dibs on arm wars.
Sorry, mate. Say again, Ray. You broke
I
up there,
called
mate.
dibs on arm wars.
There you go. See? Straight in.
Dibs.
Enterprise. That's what that is.
That's how I got it.
I did miss a couple of super chats there, guys. Hopefully that answers your question, Ananda Reba. And sorry for calling you Amanda. You can kick me in the dick when you see me. Proven astrology. And I don't know whether this is your original chat, mate. Let me know if it is. But could we see Terence versus Wagner at Arm Wars? Whether or not the recording was legal, I don't think that Aussie would be on the hook. For posting it. That's a good point. Is it legal? I don't know whether that's legal, or does anybody actually know whether that would be legal?
Yeah, but he wasn't the first to post it. It was already, as far as I know, on Instagram, and he took it from there.
If anybody posts something like that, is it illegal or legal?
Depends on, I think, many things. We don't know. We don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, on the Terence and Wagner thing, mate. Absolutely no reason why not. That can't happen at some point. Terence has already been in East versus West. He's pulled in against what we now know is an unbelievably top-endy character in Reno Masick, and it's become clear just how strong that guy is. So Reno Masick is no bum. He's out of there for a little while, but if you recall, pretty solid match with Terence. And Dev, who's just joined the call, got a bit of experience with Terence as well. For anybody in the chat that doesn't know Terence well and hasn't been involved with him, he's got some super impressive wins. He has pins on people like Brzezinski, Taras Ivakin, Matyashenko, and many, many more. So a very, very, very solid puller. How's life in the fast lane, Mr. Larratt? You liar junkie?
Very good. Good to see you guys. Good to see you.
Nice title there, pal.
I was just, relaxing for a minute and saw the show and heard my name. And I can see the comments right now, but I'd love to be able to get clarification from everybody. I just want to know, what do I have to do with this entire situation? My name it's like Devon Engen. What do I have to do with any of the problems?
Well,
I'd love to know.
Mate. I've thought about this a lot myself, and I've got to say, I think there's a lot of miscommunication and misinformation because I have spoken with Robert, I have spoken with Devon, I have spoken with you. You don't have any control over the rules of East versus West or any other league that I'm aware of. And in fact, I've argued with you on rules and a couple of rules. We don't argue on many points, but we have had some discussions around that. And I know that you get frustrated in it. A couple of times we've had calls. I can't remember which match it was after. Was it Tbilisi? We had a call. You were
Maybe.
particularly pissed off after that. Was that the one where you were really? There was one
Oh
event.
yeah,
Really
Tbilisi was terrible.
There you go.
Yeah,
it was after Tbilisi, and
Yeah, Tbilisi was really bad.
yeah, and we were talking about the guy. I think it was the Turkish referee. Don't quote me.
Right.
The guy who was on the downside elbow, whoever that was it the Turkish?
Sure. Yes.
And I said that his head was right there, and you were saying my elbow didn't come off, and you were absolutely adamant
Exactly.
the elbow didn't come off. Now at the time, we didn't have the right angle on that. Remember, we had a massive discussion, and I know
Yes.
that day, if you were able to influence the rules, you would have.
What does my name have to do with any of the issues that are going on right now? I'd love for somebody to explain to me why any of this has to do with me. You know that Eng has somehow tried to spin it that this is how have I? Please, someone on this channel or in the comments, which I can't see, please tell me what I have to do with any of this.
I can tell you because I talk with few like European arm wrestlers, and they are 100% certain and sure that you will take over the league with the rules and everything.
Okay, but I haven't.
You will be the
I
guy.
haven't taken over the
But
league.
that's also ridiculous, isn't it? In many ways, let's be honest, because if that was to happen, Dev would have to stop arm wrestling because it'd be a complete conflict of interest if he was to do that.
But that's what they believe it. That's what they believe it. They believe like
And who made them believe that?
it's. I mean, really, they can't. They really believe that, Ray.
Why would they believe that? Why would they believe?
They think as soon as Engen is out, you're going to change the rules. As soon as Engen is out, because you're close. They think you're really close with Robert and you're influencing him, and somehow you're in charge.
It's just a preemptive walkout. It's just a preemptive walkout. Engen's gone. Devon's going to take over. We're leaving.
It's crazy.
And so now this is my fault. This is my fault that they're leaving because they're scared of what I might do or be able to do.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes.
Is there anything else?
I do know that whenever I've spoken to Engen does have a massive problem personally with yourself about he culturally doesn't like the way you go about arm wrestling. And I've spoken to him about it. He thinks that.
Okay, so I arm in a way that he's happy with this for the year people are leaving because they don't like the way I arm wrestle.
No, different thing, mate. As I've said to Engen, one of the biggest things
but
is
like Devon has made a good point. Like he made a good point. Like he really like he wasn't involved in Engen quitting.
I'm not involved in any of
all those. I'm
involved in none of it. I don't understand. And I ask I'm trying to stick with everybody. Tell me, how do I fix this problem? What have I done? Please tell me. I like to know so that if I am responsible, I would like to correct it. Tell me what I've done wrong. Tell me what I've done. What have I done to cause this problem?
Terrence, do you see Devon's fault in this? Like he's been.
I was trying to figure it out myself. I was like, how did this happen? And how did he get involved with everything? So
I'm not.
I'm unsure.
But listen, I'm unsure. I hear it all the time. Everyone talks about it. They're like, they're 100% sure you're gonna take over the league. You're gonna change the rules. You're gonna do all these things that they just don't like or they don't feel comfortable. So.
But remember,
so these are all things that they think.
Go ahead, Terrence. Speak, David. Okay, so when I was at East versus West 8, you were also there. they went over the rules and stuff. There was no point in that conversation what Devon said, I want this rules, I want this rules, or I will not compete if it's not this rules. So it was just a normal conversation. They said we're going to change a little bit about, what was it, the don't move, go, remember?
Yeah.
But there was nothing from your side saying, I'm changing this rules or I want this rules. So I'm still confused.
I'm saying one thing.
That is bullshit because Devon trying to change it to sumo rules every single time. Every single guy.
No,
Right.
actually, mate, let's be honest.
Yeah.
If Devon had his way, probably would move more towards freedom. Is that a fair comment, Devon?
But listen, above that, okay, look, I certainly want to influence things towards a certain way. I'm very vocal about it. Everybody knows what I think is cool arm. But do you know what I think is cooler than that? All of us arm wrestling together under an agreed upon rule. And have seen me complain to a point where I don't show up at East vs. West or Armwrestling or PL or ever seen me boycott?
No.
I want to know this my fault. I want someone to tell what I've done. All I'm hearing now is it's between Devon and I have nothing to do with any of this. All I want to do is also Vitelli.
So the one thing can you clear up, mate? Are you aware of the latest updates? Because we had a bit of a question earlier on. I didn't think.
You know what?
Sorry, go on.
Yeah. So look to the best of my knowledge, as an athlete, I think that the Baku event is not going to happen on the 7th. There's too many days, it's too close. You could confirm all this stuff. And what I understand, negotiations are beyond strain.
Devon, you're cutting in and out. Like we get every.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, every half of syllable every time. Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad.
Now it's better. Now it's better.
Yes. Okay, let me fix that again. From what I understand, the event.
Now it is coming in and out.
Nope. Maybe jump out, come back in. It's everyone's
try and jump out and back in, mate. Apparently it's
audio break.
Jump out, come back in, Dev.
Yeah.
Oh, he might have frozen.
Yeah,
he might have frozen.
I don't know. I really want to get back to arm wrestling being the main issue and see how our sport grows. We were talking about being mainstream last year, and now, like, will we even have the next event or what's happening with the next event, right? Everything is kind of messy at this point. I just don't like it. Like, me now as a fan, always a fan, it just sucks. I understand, like, everyone can have their preferences, but I do believe, like, on both sides, there's always some truth on both sides, and there's different perspectives looking at things. But
you know what, Ray? In some respects, it's not even necessarily that there's truth on both sides. I think there's that much passion in it as well, and there's also completely different perspectives here. Also, sometimes, when you can see a little bit and you put 2 and 2 together and you end up with 7. And you're like, it's been because of the cultural difference. Sometimes I know for a fact that I've said something to Engin or he's heard something come over and he's got it out of context. It's wrong. He genuinely believes this is what I heard. And I've said to him, well, that's not what you're missing the point, mate. That's not what he means, And the cultural difference that you find with Eastern and Western European athletes is a thing. There's no doubt about that. It is a thing. We've seen various examples over time, even with Conor and Habib, where it can go a little bit over the top when the situation is being done for show and it suddenly becomes a bit too serious. You know what I mean? Goes a bit ridiculous. And there's probably an element of that in there that got us to this situation. But now it is a little bit out of control because we've lost the objective of what we're going for. I'll give you an example of what I mean. If you're in a situation where you're Engin and you're extremely pissed off with the situation and the manner in which Devon approaches the rule system. I get it. You're really angry about that. But if you continue that to the point where it becomes detrimental on the sport and moving forward,
So hold on. Let me just clarify your point there, Neil. So you're saying that Engin quit because I foul in matches?
No, I don't know why Engin quit, mate.
So
I'm not saying that at all.
An athlete that fouls too much, he's going to quit the league.
What I'm saying is the constant pursuit of your point, if it's actually the outcome of what you're doing is worse than any infringement on the rules. Do you understand what I mean?
No.
Pushing this thing forward to the point where arm wrestling and East versus West basically ceases to exist.
Pushing what
is
forward?
worse than having a full set of rules.
What am I pushing forward?
You're not pushing anything forward. Listen again what I'm saying. So Engin doesn't like how you do things. That's the point he's making, right? You understand what I'm saying? He doesn't like how you would have the rules or to influence the rules. No arm wrestler can influence the rules. Forget whether you are or you're not. It's just in his heart he thinks, I don't want any arm wrestler to influence the rules.
He's an arm wrestler.
And he's not active. To be honest, he's not active now, but bear with me. But you push that point. When?
Anytime. Mindaugas will crack him.
That was, for some reason, that was so funny, just out of nowhere. No, crack.
Yeah. Anyways. Just to get at that.
If you push it so far that it's at the detriment of the sport, you've killed what you're trying to create. How bad can the rules be? What are they going to do? Just if it completely knackers the entire sport, we've all bloody lost.
What do you think? What do you think? I don't want to pull Vitali. I'm going to insist on some rule set and not make him show
I know you want to pull Vitali. We've spoken when there's no cameras. I know you want to pull Vitali. I know you want to do that.
I read on internet he's ducking Vitali.
I just want to know how am I actually in this conversation? Why is my name coming up with any of this? I still can't understand.
I can understand it a little bit because people love drama and they're trying to inflame and wind up the situation. Honestly, I think there's a lot of that. I do think there's a lot of that.
Is there anything that I can do? Is there anything?
No. Not now. You've said everything, haven't you?
I mean, not everything, but yeah, mostly.
Right. So Ray said earlier, I haven't watched it yet, but we spoke earlier and Ray said also that in your video, you pretty much put everything out there.
Yep. I put out how we've gotten to this place, in my opinion.
Right. So what is there left to say?
Guys, come and fight. Come get back into the game. Don't let arm wrestling fracture. Why would we separate and go our different ways? Why do we not all stick together and fight? And even if people aren't friends, what the fuck does that matter? What does that have to do with anything?
Exactly.
So Engin and I aren't friends. Who cares?
Yeah, really. Now we're talking.
Who cares? Can we not just arm wrestle every 6 weeks and decide who the best are? Why does a personal relationship that two adults have any influence whatsoever over rule sets or matchups or venues? It should have none. It should have zero impact. And why my name is in it, I just can't understand.
So let's look at some of these super chats and let me see. And we'll knock over any we can here if they're sensible, because this is the fix. Some of these might be absolute bullshit.
Devon,
sorry.
Probably will not happen, right?
Vitali?
In Baku, in Azerbaijan.
Doesn't look like it.
The timing ridiculous, isn't it?
There's not enough time. They haven't confirmed the venue. From what I understand, rooms. Oh shit. That's an interesting call that I just had to decline.
Go on. Was that Engin?
Somebody much more interesting than Engin.
Oh my god! Don't tell me, but I can guess.
No, you can't.
Okay,
I
really?
don't think you'd guess this one. If I gave you some time, you could guess, but
Can
I'll
I
give you
message you?
the
Take
thing
a
is,
shot.
the thing is
7 hints.
people accuse me of lying, and there are times when I tell horrible lies. There is. If I'm in a match, I will tell nothing but lies and fibs, but other than that, I'm actually, believe it or not, quite a truthful person. And I've been accused of lies when I've been telling the truth, and those might all just get verified. Anyways, um, I get upset.
Devon,
I get upset because all I'm trying to do call our friend. She just called. Yeah. I get pissed. I'm seriously, I'm really quite pissed that in any way my name being brought into the demise, something that's so great, and all I want to do is continue to fight at the highest level, and that's all I want for all of us. I feel like the actions of some people are criminal and they need to be called out. I'm tired of it, really. I'm really sick of it. I personally will continue to go to the highest level of arm wrestling I can go. I just hope I have a dance partner. Baku's likely canceled. I hope that Vital comes. I hope he does. I hope he finds a way to get a visa. I hope he does. If he doesn't, I want to fight the highest guy I can fight from the rankings, from the top down. That's who I want to fight. I know Levon won't do it. I don't know if Hermes will do it. I don't know if Artem Morozov will do it. Quite honestly, it starts to get slim pickings at that.
What would be your
But
sort of sliding scale of who you'd want most? And obviously, Vitali, we know Vitali.
Vitali,
Who would be next?
Vitali, Levon,
Levon? Fucking hell, dude.
whatever. Listen. I don't think that I can beat Levon.
Yeah.
I don't. But I'll tell you, I am stronger than I was when I faced him before. And whatever, if he's in the States. But listen, that match is not going to happen. I go for Hermes. Hermes says he wants a match.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I'd pull Hermes. I'd pull Hermes in 6 weeks. And listen, and I've pulled more over the last few months than he has. Okay, so the whole we pulled at the last event together. I pulled at the one before that,
Yeah.
and then I pulled at the one that he was at in Tbilisi. So we're both active. I'd pull Hermes. I'd pull Artem Morozov.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's a great match.
That's a good match.
For sure. Yeah, it's a great match. I'd love to pull Artem.
That's an interesting one.
But the thing is see, and I don't care about the rules, and I won't try and change the rules. I'll tell you, I'm quite angry these days about everything.
What about this situation?
Yeah, I'm really upset. I'm upset that people have been manipulated. I'm upset that people have somehow been fed lies and they've believed them. I'm upset that people are being, somehow that I am the fucking one who is causing this. Like the claims that have been made they're just false. They're just lies, and it angers me, really. I'd like to clear my name. If anybody can tell me what I did wrong, I'd love to address it. I would love to address it. I've tried to be as transparent as I could. I've released everything that I think I can. How my name keeps coming up. I really, I can't be expected to be friends with Engen. That's not the cause for the demise of the league.
No. Mate, I think the reality of the situation on anything like this also is, it's funny, speaking to Brian and Eddie, you've become a very significant figure now online. And when you do that, there's always going to be an amount of hate and negativity, whatever you do. Whatever you do.
That's fine. But when it comes from, but when it results in guys like Hermes and Morozov and guys saying,
yeah, so when it's closer to home is the ones you're pissed off about.
Look it. I'm very comfortable and happy to have tens of thousands of people, hating me online. That's fine. That's no problem. But when guys stop coming out and arm wrestling because of what? Because of what reason? Please tell me the reason.
Okay, I get it. So it's the when people are closer to home or having a pop, that's when it really pisses you off.
It's not even having a pop. It's
Actually believing and acting upon something they believe. So in other words, they're saying, right, we're not going to arm wrestle.
yeah. Tell me what I did wrong. Please.
Now, interestingly, I spoke to Engin last week, and he said that we had a conversation about that, and I said, "Oh, that's not great." And he said, "Well, funnily enough, I don't want that. I don't want any of the." And this is a very important message for any of the Eastern Europeans watching to get this message. Engin himself told me he is not interested in that. He said that
maybe he should tell people. Maybe he should stop telling people that I worship the devil and I'm going to influence the league. You know, like maybe he should do that. You know, maybe what I do is stop telling people that I run and manage the league and I'm influencing the rules. Maybe that would be my step.
Yeah, and it is important that the Eastern Europeans get that message. That apparently Engin doesn't want that, and he doesn't want them not wrestle. Because if that's the case, then he doesn't want it to blow up. So outside of the fact that you guys are oil and water, always going to be, nobody cares. You don't care. He doesn't care.
I don't care.
So yeah,
why,
exactly.
why would anybody care?
So that can crack on. It doesn't matter. It's not.
Yeah.
That's been like that for a while now, and we've had some amazing events during that period of time.
We've had many successful events.
Correct.
Engin and I haven't gone along in a while. We've had successful events. We've gone on lives with Engin when we don't talk.
Now that, Devon, if you want my people say, you know, about the sitting on the fence thing, obviously I'm looking for arm wrestling to not be busted. And when I get pissed off is when it is getting busted like now. And the biggest point and the biggest frustration I have is exactly what we've just talked about there. Obviously, I'm aware of your relationship with Engin. I know that you guys are extremely different people and extremely passionate about your view. But it's not like you've been friends for a significant period of time and there's been some amazing events. So it's annoying that we can't just go, okay, well, let's crack on, continue doing events.
Yeah.
And there's no actual change. The only thing that's actually changed in all that period of time is that it's become more public, and a lot of the influencers are involved and stating a lot of stuff about it, and a lot of the arm wrestling community are flaring up and commenting on it. And now you've got a situation where Eastern European athletes are refusing to pull, and that's quite weird because I'm yet to hear from any Eastern European athlete how they've been done wrong, what's been done wrong to them within EVW. Honestly, I haven't heard that. I know that there was some riding debts. I'm not close to the detail, but from the previous King of the Table side of things, I heard that there was some money not being paid. Detail of that I can't tell you, and I can't tell you to whom. But I also heard, and I can't remember on which channel, but I'm pretty sure it was Dexter, was talking about a situation where the debts did not transfer. So, if that's the case, then with the current management of EVW, i.e. Robert Baxter, who Engin has always endorsed very highly, and he's a lifer. Robert's been in the game for bloody 20-odd years, 30 years, a former WAF world champion, guy's involved, he's deep in there. He's also a bloody lovely bloke. He's a very straight guy, and actually trying to resolve things to the highest ilk. You know, he's really invested in trying to sort things out. That's every time I've spoken to the guy, he's very much involved in trying to sort it out and smooth it over. But I haven't actually heard from any of the Eastern Europeans yet how they feel like there's been any wrongdoing to them whilst Robert has been at the head of the thing. I don't know. Somebody tell me if anybody knows that. I don't. So, if you will, you and Engin have not liked each other for probably a year, whatever it is, a significant period of time. We've had some banging events there. The sports continue to be in the ascendancy. Let's can do that.
Exactly. Exactly.
Really, from my perspective.
That's it. That's it. And all the fears, like, they're going to have to get over that. The whole rules thing, listen, when Engin leaves, to my knowledge, they're creating some kind of a referees council. Guess what? I'm not on it. I'm not on it. So, like all their fears are spun up from somewhere. I can't
Who's on
imagine.
that? Who's
Okay?
on the referees council, mate?
I don't know.
Jody.
I don't know.
That'd be so
I don't know.
funny.
I don't know who's on it, but it's not me.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the thing is, there will be a council. Okay, it's going to replace what Engen was kind of guarding over before. Okay, so anyways, all these, I just wish that I just hope that we just continue forward. Really, that's and I just really, if anybody can concretely tell me what I'm doing wrong, I'd love to hear it, because I'm being accused of it's between Devon and Ang, and like,
Here's a
what the
question for
fuck?
you. Are you in contact with at all any of the Eastern European lads?
Yes.
And what are they saying anything to you, just privately?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything you can share or prepared to share?
So I'll break it into thirds, okay? A third of them completely believe that I'm the devil and are kind of confrontational or just completely don't answer me at all.
So they're on the fence.
Okay. Yeah, very much on the fence.
Like, hey mate, how's it going? Off you come.
Another third that I talk to.
Right.
Another third that I talk to, I'll say, they're on Engen's side, and I'm kind of talking to them, and I'm trying to make them understand what is actually going on.
Yeah.
And we're having conversations.
Okay.
And then there's another one where we're kind of having conversations, but there's really nothing moving. There's nothing really moving. They're kind of there's this belief that that I am the devil also still. So it's kind of 2/3. It's not good. Eastern Europeans have been heavily believing that somehow I've really done something great wrong. I'm trying to get them to explain to me. Ask them, I say, explain to me what I'm doing wrong.
Right.
And they can't really. They're like, you know what you're doing. And I'm like, no, I don't. Tell me. And they can't really articulate it.
Right. I know a little bit of that, obviously, just from watching it, and I'm sure Ray would agree. So obviously, when you wind up the situation in a match and you're trying to get the guy to lose his head, and you're trying to flip him out, and you're trying to wind him up, and the mental games start, you're doing that for the purpose of an arm wrestling match. That's your approach. Okay. I've been in fight sports all my life, commentating, presenting. You're around fighters, you see that. And to be honest, to a heavier degree than you do it, Devon. I mean, sometimes physical, sometimes, it gets heavy. And really heavy. I mean, you only need to look at the Machado Gary stuff that went on when he was, serious, heavy stuff. And it's kind of accepted within that environment. It is not accepted within the cultures that you're dealing with, and when you have that cross, it doesn't mix. So it's taken very seriously often, and I actually think that's part of the problem. So you're playing to some extent. It's not personal. You're mucking about. It's in the context of an arm wrestling match. And I've actually tried to articulate that to some of the Eastern European guys and said, look, he's kind of joking, don't you? He's winding you up, but he's not really serious. There's no animosity. As soon as this match finishes, win or lose, as you will have seen many times, it's done. But that is not how it's perceived. And I think
right, but what about this situation?
This situation, in my opinion, has got far worse than that. It's become much more emotional than that. There's all kinds of perceptions being put out there, many of which I just think are nonsense. And it's got ridiculous. I mean, personally, I think this should have stayed between yourself and Engen a bit behind closed doors.
Hold on.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Hang on, let me finish. I know where you're going. I know where you're going, mate. I know where you're going.
Why are you saying this should have stayed between Engen and me?
Dude, wait. So, before you jump in, listen to what I'm saying. So on the you don't like each other, that should have stayed behind closed doors. It should not.
Yeah, no
have,
shit.
wait. It should not have seeped into EVW Sports thing because it's nothing to do with EVW Sports. The EVW Sports thing is a completely separate thing over here. That's EVW Sports East versus West. That's what's going on there. Over here, in a separate box, Engen and Devon don't get on. That's how I see it.
Okay, so
They're separate things.
Can you blame me when public recordings go line of discussions that are saying all sorts of lies about me? Do you think it's wrong for me to defend myself?
No.
I don't think so either.
No, I don't.
And none of those things should cause any demise of any league.
I think it's wrong that the community gives so much of a credence to that it overrides the interest in arm wrestling. I think that's a shame.
Yeah.
I
wish that
it's of less importance than furthering bloody events.
Keep
That's
my name out of this problem. This has got nothing to do with me. Nothing of this problem has to do with me. I'm not into all the things that I've been accused of. Is just non-factual.
Well, the biggest one is that you are part of the league and influence the league. Is that a correct assumption? That's where what I've heard is i.e. the Eastern Europeans. Yeah. This is what really matters, the Eastern Europeans pulling out of the wanting to pull. Is that the biggest problem?
Sure.
You're aware of?
Yeah, okay. I've heard that.
So if that's the situation, that they are basing that stance on you being an owner of the league or part of the league in a controlling fashion.
Right.
That's what they believe. And that is categorically not the case according to the owners, as I understand it. Because I asked Robert Robert and Dexter are the owners, are they now? In the meeting, we were told that Dexter has just bought in and Robert was the sole owner. Is that accurate to your understanding?
Yes.
So they told me that you are not an owner.
That's right.
So therefore, there's no grounds for anything to be answered on that regard.
Right.
So what the hell is everybody kicking off about?
Exactly. So I just want people to keep my name out of this. It's got nothing to do with me. The whole thing that's being spun up is Devon versus Angle. I got nothing to do with this. All I want to do is arm wrestle. Okay. Everybody can it's got nothing to do with me. I'm not leaving. I'm looking forward to my match. I'm continuing to train. I've spoken for unity. I've spoken for all of us sticking together. That's what I said at the meeting. It was told that I said otherwise. I released my speaking part. Anyways, listen, guys, I don't want to, I feel the same way as all you guys. I don't want to keep talking about it, but I feel like I need to clear my name. I feel I need to speak up when I hear people talking about me, saying that this has got to do between and Engen. It's got nothing to do with me. This whole thing has got zero to do with me. My personal relationship with Engen should have zero impact.
It's this side.
Right.
It's been there, like I said earlier. For me, that's been there for a long time. You haven't gone on for a long time. So that's over there. It's the EVW Sports and East versus West thing that's got to be focused on. And right now, it's on stall, it would seem. And I'm not sure why it needs to be. Surely we can just crack on and get some events done. Yeah. I personally would like to see. So people had said, oh, yeah, you've not spoken up on it. Well, this is my stance on that. I would like to see both Engen and Robert, who I believe are having conversations right now, say, you know what, we can continue this a little bit down the tracks. But right now, because it's got a little bit ridiculous and we're spending more time talking about this in the public arena than anything else, when we really need to be delivering what the fans want and getting some arm wrestling events underway. So let's park that. Let's get back on. Let's deliver Azerbaijan probably, in my opinion, can't happen because it's too bloody close. The next one is Brian, and the next one, actually, I can't remember where the next one was. Ray, can you remember where the next one was? But whatever, September. Deliver September, wherever that is. And so on. And get cracking. Get back on doing events. Now, in the background, while those are happening, let's continue. You know what I mean? But let's not be bloody ridiculous and stop the entire sport focusing on something that's completely useless for the sport of arm wrestling. It's not benefiting it in any way, apart from if you're a channel looking to get views through drama and say, "Oh,
This was
today's
a
update
private
is
matter.
this."
Listen, this was a private matter. They should kept it private matter.
Exactly. Look at
But
what other event
but
have you ever seen like that, Ray?
we know who chose it and to make it public matter. And that's the
To
whole
go
issue. This
behind
is why the
closed
people
doors.
are really upset. I'm also really upset because this is burning our sport. This is burning the thing that we love, that we do. It's the fucking reason I'm up at 30 minutes past midnight on a Sunday night just to be live and talk about arm wrestling, and we have to talk about all this bullshit. And
I
like
thought you came because you love me, you
yeah.
bastard. Ray.
And there's like and
Somebody-
then we don't know when the next event's gonna happen, all the other stuff, and it's just like the thing is like I just don't know. Nothing.
Can I just say, you all are invited to Ottawa High Hooker Day.
When is it, mate?
It's actually a weekend, 26th weekend of July, just a couple weeks. There's a link on my Facebook page. Come arm wrestle all weekend, set up a tent, party.
Ottawa High Hooker Day, ladies and gentlemen, 26th
Yeah.
July.
Come on out. Come on out and hang out with us. It's just a weekend of good times in arm wrestling.
Guys, in the chat, don't send any more super. Look, I love your super chats, but hold for a minute. Let's try and knock some of these over because we've been talking and we haven't knocked any over. Let's try and smack some of these that we haven't got to. So, oh my God, that's tough. Let's have a look. Abfivandit Verma, thank you for your super chat. Devon, you should be making the proofs regarding threats from Engin public now. That Engin
There's people who are just
denied it.
calling. There's people who are just calling on the phone.
But this will help clear the air and resolve any kind of
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. No problem. People are phoning me right now.
Okay. Proving astrology. Neil and Ray, can you confirm or deny Devon is a devil worshipper? There are not two sides to this drama. There is one crazy guy on an ego trip. Okay. Devon, to the best of my knowledge, does not worship Satan. Pretty sure of that.
Yes, that's what I wanted to say. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you think, Rolly? Ever seen him going for it?
I seen him sacrifice few goats.
Yep.
Ah, very good.
It was there. Someone had to take it.
Very nice. Very
Yeah.
nice. Very
Yeah.
nice.
Let's have a look here. The Perfect Lure. It's quite a good name. Do you think East versus West and King of the Table will continue with all this drama? I bloody well hope so.
Yeah.
But we don't have a lot of platforms, so we can't really lose any of them.
Yeah, yeah. The answer to that question is I would be astounded if not, and I certainly hope so. And a lot of that, to be honest, is down to you guys in the chat. I mean, and everyone else that tunes in and watches the shows, which are phenomenal. Let's not lose sight of the fact that Chicago was friggin' awesome. There were some amazing matches. If you haven't seen some of those matches, get back and check them out. Go and have a look now. Go and have a look at the from the start of the card. I think on that entire card there might have been 2 matches that weren't bangers. Most of them were absolutely quality. Go and watch Matt Maskin, Zirakashvili. Go and watch Devon and Alex. What an absolute clanger that is. We want a rematch of that, incidentally. Alex, if you're watching, what about rematch? As soon as possible. Let's go. That's the one. Left hand rematch. What about that?
Absolutely.
Come on, Alex Cadet. Just step up, son. Let's go. Left hand rematch. It was an absolute cracker.
Well, let's go left and right.
Left hand right. That'd be good.
Same event.
That'd be quality. Just here, thanks for your super chat. Engin and Europeans have got good. What? Oh, it's all one word. Have get good issues. They can't learn how to arm wrestle in setup. It's ref job. If they don't call it, then too bad. Blame them. That was awesome. Thanks for that super chat. The hardest to read tonight. Respect that. Okay. Let's have a look. Arm Mutant. Excited for the 19th of July, coach. Are you pulling with both?
I don't know yet. I'm gonna be in Slovakia on 19th of July for Dobra Voda Cup. So
Just give everybody an update what you have got on, Ray, for those who don't know, because I didn't know that.
yeah.
What have you got? Give him what's he referring to?
It's just competition.
You sneaky bastard, Ray. Don't you know it's about being public and transparent, son? Get it out there.
I just said it. Dobra Voda in Slovakia. 19th
That's the name. Say it again.
Dobra Voda, which means good water.
Dobra Voda, ladies and gentlemen, in Slovakia.
Yeah.
Yes. Rolly Ray will be there.
Our multilingual Neil Pickup is like, say it. I just said it.
That's it, Dobra Voda. And it means what? Good water, does it mean?
Dobra Voda. Dobra means good.
Dobra water.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, just here. Besides, how can anyone... Oh, this is continuing his frigging previous super chat. Besides, how can anyone get along with someone that have patience of a 5-year-old blocking everyone, deleting comments? Europeans follow, cause if not. Thanks for that, mate. Kevin, thank you for your super chat. Ray, ask Hermes to join. He believes Devon is the problem and can give the Eastern perspective.
I'll stick around for a couple minutes if Engen joins.
Is Engen in? Engen, mate, if you want to come on.
Sorry. Engen or Hermes, either one. I'll stick around if either one of them wants to talk.
Hermes, is Hermes in as well? Hermes, if you're in the chat and you want to come on, let me know.
Or text me. I'll send you a link.
Yeah. Did anybody see him? What did he put?
No.
Hermes, mate, if you are in and you want to come on. Or Engen, if you want to come on. No, I can't see him. Just let me know, guys, if you see anything in there. Mike Litterus with super chat. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate that. In Engen's last video, he said Devon will get the decline humorous allowed, also lower pads. He said Devon told Robert to get rid of them. So basically, he's putting arm wars rules in.
There were many lies told in that video. One of which was that I told Robert the king of the table would be more profitable. I never said that. I said you can buy king of the table and you won't have to work with Engen.
So similar.
But I never said more profitable. I just said you won't have to deal with Engen.
Oh, God. Right. Hang on. Proven astrology. Maybe the Eastern pullers won't pull without biased WAF refs. Okay. Thank you for that, mate. And I'm maybe caught up. Oh, no, we're not. Just here. Nobody thinks you really control rules, Devon. It's just an excuse for their lack of skill in the setup. You won because you cheat mentality.
I've heard that before.
Okay. The problem is simple. It's because Engen didn't like the playground and pulled his toys back home, i.e. Hermes, Kalina, and the rest that Devon beat. Juggernaut Kaufman, I think that's Chris. Chris, if you're in the chat, mate, hope you're well. What is the point of EVW? Is it for exposure and fans, or for arm wrestlers? If the former, i.e. exposure and fans, who brings the money and fans to the sport? East or the West? If it's not the East, let them walk. I kind of disagree, Chris, because I want to see the absolute pinnacle, mate. I want to see the best guys pull each other. That's just my take on that. And as I said earlier, mate, I don't believe that there is actually any issue for the Eastern European pullers with EVW at all that I'm aware of. Nobody has told me, none of the Eastern European pullers have told me that they've actually had an active issue. And speaking to Devon, he wants to pull all the Eastern Europeans. I've said it many times. Speaking to Engen, personally, he told me that he doesn't have any interest in them not pulling. He just wants them to have fair rules. That's what he said. Calvin Jones, thank you for your super chat. Here for the refocusing, but I seem to have found angry Devon. I've had plenty of angry
I
Devon
hate
and
this
angry
version of
Engen.
me. I really don't like
this
this version of me. This has affected me more than I like. Yeah. This whole thing has really upset me.
It just needs to be binned, doesn't it? Just
Yeah,
under.
yeah, really.
Flying under.
Really?
No. The perfect future. Do you think East versus West and King of the Table? Oh, that's surely I've read that. Continue this drama. I thought I've read that. Proven astrology. Neil and Ray, do you believe Engin tried to sabotage EVW by asking Eastern guys not to pull and playing on Devon's paranoia? I certainly do. And if true, I think he should not be forgiven. To be honest, mate, that's one to ask the Eastern European guys, and I'm sure that will come out in time. So ask the Eastern Europeans. I think the whole I think this, I think that's bullshit. And to be honest, as I say, I don't want to inflame the situation tonight. I'm bored to tears of it, mate. I want to sack it, and I want to get back to arm wrestling, personally. I think if I was Robert now, and off what Devon said there, if I'm Devon now tonight, having said everything, I'd probably now just go, you know what? Not going to discuss it anymore. I'm going to crack on with arm wrestling, training for arm wrestling and doing what I do and leave it there. And if I was Robert Baxter, I would probably do the same. And to be honest, if I was Engin, I would probably do the same because everybody's just getting dragged into a he said, she said event, which is not beneficial for anyone. People are jumping on and picking sides when they haven't got the slightest idea of what the situation really is because they weren't involved. And it's just, I don't know, not doing anybody any good. Henry Bowerslaw, would you work with someone who threatened your life? I wouldn't stand close. Never been in that situation, mate, that anybody's threatened my life. I think that's a bit outlandish, if I'm perfectly honest. If somebody does that, it's a bit bananas. Skylar Brooks Arm Wrestling. Skylar, how are you doing, mate? I'll tell you right now, Neil, the arm wrestling world is lucky to have you, especially with everything that's transpired. You're pure professional. Thank you, mate. I don't feel it tonight. I feel wrecked. And as I say, difficult to see the sport in the current situation. It really is super frustrating. Super frustrating. I think we've had another couple of super chats in, which I will try to address quick. Hunter Sartori. I just got into arm wrestling around 2 months ago, and I was absolutely loving the sport. I mean, seriously, East versus West 18 was amazing. So many great matches, and we got to see Devon and Alex again. Come on. Mate, you know that Dev's up for it. Alex Kadetcha, if you're watching the show, I know you're a fan of the fix. If you're watching the show, let's go. You heard Dev's suggestion. Right and left arm would be great. Can you imagine? Right and left arm. Engin, if you're involved in setting them up, still set it up, son. We know that Devon's up for it. Hopefully Alex sees this and he's up for it. Let's get back to some arm wrestling and get it done. Personal issues have to be between you guys. You don't have to like each other to work. Exactly. Dana White and John Jones don't like each other and they work together. Exactly. And I do believe that has been said by Devon 3 or 4 times tonight. And I'm pretty sure Engin would hopefully be on the same page. If he can calm down for a moment and listen to the show, I know that he'll probably come up with that same answer. Let's draw a line under it and crack on. Enough drama, guys. Naruto Azumaki. Is there any chance Devon and Alex would pull both arms at the Show Classic, since it seems like Vitali and Morozov don't seem likely? I don't know about Morozov. Would Morozov not be actually quite likely? Because
Morozov, Hermes. I mean, there's guys who can maybe come.
Well, Morozov being in America, like at Chicago, so he. What's the
he needs an extension. I think he'd need an extension, but it's not a big deal. It's easy to do. Yeah.
What is this? What's the scenario with that? Is it for a single trip or a period? Because with you,
I'm not certain, but I know that I've heard conversations about Morozov, and I heard there was an extension that was required. I'm not totally certain, but I believe that I heard that they just need to get him an extension, and I believe I heard them say that that's not difficult to do.
Is he one of the guys you could be in contact with? Are you in direct contact with him at all?
Yeah, I've messaged Artem. I think Artem's really quite mad at me. I think that I've kind of. Yeah, I don't think Artem believes a word that I say, and I think he thinks I'm a bad person.
But wouldn't want to pull you?
I don't know. I'd love to pull him.
Okay. Opportunity to sort of shut it down, isn't it? If he's...
Yeah, shut me down. Shut me down.
Okay, let's have a look. Eugene M. Joseph, thanks for your super chat. What are some constructive lessons for the community, promotions, and athletes so a situation like this doesn't happen again? I think Ray hit it out the park earlier. Don't be public. Don't go out there with it straight off the bat. It's distracting. It creates massive drama that isn't beneficial. I don't know. What do people think? I've never seen any other organization spend 3 weeks talking about stuff like this ever in any sport. Have any of you guys?
It's insane.
It's 2 weeks, Neil. It's 2 weeks.
Is it? 2 weeks. Seems so much longer. I'm so bored of this shit.
Me too. I'm trained. I don't even know who I'm training for, Neil. I don't even know if I'm training for arm wrestling anymore.
That might be the best line of the night.
Yeah, I mean,
I rang you and training your ass off. Don't hey mate. There you go.
I'm just gonna play Terrence chess. That's what I'm gonna do.
Devon, you must come to the Southern Hemisphere. There's not a lot of champions this side. Not a lot of drama this side.
Mate, South Africa's strength resurgent. You got Rain O'Neill. Spoke to Rain O'Neill about you last night, Terence. He said,
"Oh wow!"
And you've got Colton Engelbrecht, who's probably maybe the pound for pound the strongest man in the world. Absolute monster.
Can you beat that? Can you beat that Australian kid? That South African Australian kid?
I think it will be a good match.
He's pretty good.
I think it will be a good match.
What about that one? Let's put that on.
He's pretty good.
There you go.
I think we must come to Chicago and do a match day, me and him.
Hey, did you guys see Schoolboy on the side table with the Kimbo?
No.
Anybody see that?
How'd that go?
No, not much.
Way closer than I thought it was going to be. Akimbo looks strong. Really strong.
More than Akimbo.
Akimbo looks strong right now, I'll tell you.
Hey, mate, joking aside, though, I did see Schoolboy lost in a super match, didn't he, against Dennis, guy that Dennis...
Yeah. I was more interested in what happened on the side table with him and Akimbo, actually.
When did it happen, though? Like, just straight after that?
I'm not sure. I just know what I saw. Pretty close.
Can't argue with that. Looking powerful. So let's see. Eric Powerlifter. Seems to me that Engin and the Eastern guys think Devon pushes the boundaries too much. And if Engin isn't around, it will get worse. Fan of you guys. Cheers, Eric. Yeah, I think there's definitely that message is out there with them, without a doubt. They think that the influence of Devon in the league is bigger than it is in certain areas. So they actually believe that he is, number one, either an owner of the organization to some extent, or has an actual influence on the rules to some extent. That is something, it appears, that is a belief. And that is not the case, according to Robert and Dexter, who are the owners of the league. So, yeah, moving on. Mark Square, hope you're well, Mark. Devon, thank you for everything you've done for the sport. You don't deserve this. On behalf of everyone, I apologise. Thank you for everything. You are the GOAT. A fan there,
mate. Thank you.
Let's have a look. Okay. Abhivandit Verma. Devon, will you bring back the goofy, cracking jokes and one-liners persona from the wild days, or will you continue with the devil, you're my dog persona?
I guess it'll just depend. It'll depend on who I'm facing, what I think is the right thing to do. Yeah, I guess it just depends on who I'm arm wrestling. I'll do what I think is appropriate in the time. I think I probably have gotten a bit nastier as I've aged. Maybe I'm not quite as funny, maybe a bit meaner now. Yeah, no promises.
Just articulate why you do it, mate, in its purest form. There's a lot of that. It's a lot of that just for the show. Is it and I'll tell you why I ask you this, because I watched an awesome thing the other day with you and one of your old mates. And it was talking about your time in the military and so on.
Oh, with Randy.
Yeah, mate, I loved it. I was driving down to London and it came up on my feed and I put it on while I was in the car.
Yeah.
And it was fascinating to me. And that was interesting because you were talking about your ritual before you go in. And there was one thing, and excuse me if I cock this up, but I think you said I still do posturing or something like that, or stance, something like that. So you do it before you go on to arm wrestle. Can you sort of walk through that a bit, mate? Talk through what that is exactly.
Sure. Yeah. So there's really nothing that I have done in my life that kind of matches the adrenal drive, the focus of doing assaulting. Nothing is even close.
I can imagine.
Like, you can step into a ring with Thor. It's not even close. So quite often what I'll do, there was mental rituals that I would do, like kind of before I would do hits. And sometimes I'll just try and get myself back in that place. So when I say posturing, I'll stand the way you stand when you're fighting. I'll do movement drills. Like, there's drills that you do when you take corners, when you go through doors. And I'll typically, you might see me in the back when I'm warming up. I'll do that stuff for like 20 minutes before I compete. And it's to get myself in that place where I've been so many times, where I'm like really, really ready to fight.
Do you know, once, mate, I think it was after the dark card in Blackpool, and you were talking to myself and some of the lads, and you know, I find what you did for a living fascinating. Something I wouldn't have the spokes to do. I think you've got to be a special bloke to do something like that, to be honest. It takes massive balls. And I remember you telling me a story about when you have to put a switch on. You turn a switch to go in to do what you're going to do and get 100% focused. And you said that the animals can sense it and they run away from you and they don't like you. That was fascinating.
It's interesting, right?
Isn't it? That
Yeah. Like when we do hits, typically, like dogs, like big dogs, like dogs that are there to like defend their property, they'll run. They run from us. Yeah.
So in a way, you're projecting something more.
There's an energetic. For sure. There's like, I mean, look, there's a lot of things that humans are aware of, and there's things that we're not so aware of. But you can sense when a person, like when you're close to somebody, you can tell if somebody's happy. You can tell if somebody's sad. You can tell if somebody's angry. And you can also tell when somebody's there to kill you. You can feel it. Yeah. And animals can feel it. Yeah, and animals don't like that. Animals normally run away when you're there to kill them. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Here we go. JCG. Thank you for your super chat, mate. Why didn't the East start crying until they had to fly to the West and face the jet lag the Western athletes did? Okay, so balanced opinion there. Awesome. Here we go. AR. Engin was going to set himself a match with Samusha before he got injured. He controlled the rules, yet nobody complained then. Engin, oh yeah, okay. Engin was going to set himself a match with Samusha before he got injured. He controlled the rules, yet nobody complained then. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't
Guys,
think.
listen, I love y'all. I should probably get going. I just kind of wanted to state my case on here because I see people saying my name and in the comments. I only wish the best for arm wrestling. I wish the success for all of us. We're a family. We need to stick together. Sport is about building and coming together. You know, we love to fight each other. That's what we love to do. We love to fight each other. It makes us stronger. That's why we do it. We need to always do that. When we separate from each other, this is not good. Anyways, we'll see you guys soon.
No worries,
Ray,
man.
Neil, I think I'll see you guys hopefully at the Shaw Classic. Terrence, I don't know
I'll
when
be
I'm going
there.
to see you again. When am I going to see you, Terrence?
Maybe at
Maybe
the
the
Shaw
next
Classic.
Arm Wars.
Maybe.
Or maybe.
Yeah.
At the Shaw
Maybe
Classic
if-
and then Arm Wars. And who knows?
Yes.
Okay. All the
I
best,
need a
guys.
match.
Take it easy,
Yeah,
mate.
we got to
Keep-
get you a match.
Hey, Dev, keep training.
Yeah,
It will get resolved.
I'm sure. Okay. Take care, brothers.
Take it easy, mate.
Bye-bye.
It will get resolved. Keep that training. Let's have a look. Have we caught up? I think we have.
Neil, I also got to jump off. It's
All right, brother.
1 o'clock.
No
Terrence,
worries, mate. Hey, Ray, thank you for taking the time, pal.
no problem. Neil, Terrence,
See you soon.
Terrence.
Bye, Ray.
Let's
See you
knock this
Bye-bye.
over. GB19.
Bye, guys.
Devon thought on Engin saying Geordie recording was illegal. Devon thought on Engin saying Geordie's recording was legal. GB19, have I read that right? Dev thought on Engin saying Geordie recordings illegal. I might be reading that wrong, but make a great deal. Okay. Mark Square. Devon was part of the first contact team, so he closed the door. Possible terrorists inside. Devon was the first man in. Let that sink in. Oh, mate, it's sunk in with me long ago that you've got to have some serious balls to do that job and be a certain type of person. Not something I would want to do. It would be pretty serious stuff, mate. John,
He was telling. You remember he was telling us that story when we were at the traffic center when me and what is his name, Minikos Dulskas and
Mindigus, yeah, and Daniel.
and Daniel Luke Christensen was fighting in the dark court.
It's
And
unimaginable.
he got emotional about that. Do you remember?
Yes.
That was like even I got tears in my eyes when he just telling the story of what his life has been like. It was like so intense.
Hard for a normal person to imagine.
Yeah.
No. That much time away from your family and all. Whoa. Unbelievable, mate. Unbelievable. John Augustine. Let's have a look. Miyamoto Musashi spoke of projecting your intentions upon people. Where intention goes, energy flows. Animals are just better at sensing energy than people are. Yeah, mate. Exactly that. I found it very, very fascinating. I did. When Devon said that, and he said, you'd walk down a street and dogs would cower and move away and stuff. And bloody hell. So what I was getting at with that is, so if you're Devon and you're getting yourself into this mode and psyching up, there might even be a situation where people are taking that in. You might feel it coming off him more when he's at the table. You know what I mean? I mean, you've pulled with him but to be honest, he didn't get very angry with you, did he? You were one of the guys that he had a good relationship with. But I suppose if he gets into a situation where Dev's extremely focused and really going for it, and he's been doing his posturing and stuff beforehand, maybe there's some of that there as well. You know what I mean? And you would really feel it. It's weird because I've been it's obviously very pointed because I've been on the stage with Devon many, many, many times when he's been in big, high-profile matches, Levan, Gennady, and more. And you don't feel it if you're not the guy that he's arm wrestling for sure. He always feels, and he always seems extremely in control, very aware of his movements. You know what I mean?
I also think the opponent makes it a little bit, actually cause Devon to be more or less. So I think depending on the attitude the opponent brings to the table in the build-up to the match and so on, I think that also makes it a little bit more for what Devon can expect on the table of the guy.
Yeah.
So if the guy is like me, just joking around and having fun, I think it will be different. But if you get a guy up there like Vitaly, and Morozov. I think that brings something else to the table.
Yeah, so if it's a guy that he's had a lot of heated build up or really getting into that mind game stuff, it's probably the more of that has gone on, the more intense that situation is, and probably the more the what's the right word? Is it subliminal that I'm trying to think of? Really, that's
Yeah.
you know what I mean. You might feel that message a little more without knowing, just the aura.
Yeah.
Potentially, so subliminal absorption of that. Yeah,
I think that is it.
really.
Remember, I saw a video today with. It started with Devon says, "I hate you," and then he was talking about Dennis playing, and I remember that match. That was also like very intense.
The second one, yeah, East versus West, the right-hander.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the first one was kind of quite jovial, wasn't it? You know, when they went lefty at the PAL, that was quite a jovial. Like Devon had the whole Larry and Tyser hair and all like that.
Yeah.
The second time they met, because of all the stuff around the hammer, it was really emotionally charged. Yeah, the atmosphere in there that night was immense, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
But to be honest with you know, for all the people out there that would criticize that approach, it's also fair to say that without that, it takes balls to put yourself out there like that, to be the heel or to get the situation that revved up. It's like the Conor McGregor thing, because you get an equal amount of sort of love and hate. You become very polarizing, and it's not an easy thing to do, you know. And probably what we're seeing here is a very clear and pertinent example of some of that, because you create a situation amongst fans and followers of the sport where they will murder you in the comments, just absolutely batter you in the comments, and take any opportunity that they can to snipe and to jibe at you. And I think the bigger you get, the more you're going to get of that. But without
I agree.
There's not the feeling. Everybody loves that situation where you have a genuine heated rivalry going into any kind of strength or combat sport, I think. You know?
Yeah, you see a lot of matches, and it's like boring matches. Nobody wants to see a boring match. But I think there's a fine line between what Devon does when Devon is Devon and when Devon is a little bit out of it. You know what I'm saying?
So, so he's gone hard, you mean? Like he's
gone really hard. Like really hard.
Yeah.
And then it's to view that as a spectator and an arm wrestling fan, there's a point when you think like, yo, there's a little bit too much now. But everybody wants that. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
There's no point in joining a match and it's like, ready, go, and they beat the guy. And
do you think also, Terence, that not only from a fan perspective, because I get it that the fan thing is a big element, but also for someone like Devon, who is so competitive and so focused on the mission and the outcome and the objective of what he's doing, he's going to be looking for that breaking point. You know what I mean? So the point where his opponent rolls over and shows the throat a little bit. And you might find if somebody is a very, very strong character, that he has to go further, a little further. Maybe like he alluded to there, he might think, oh, sometimes I go further than I would normally go. And I'm supposing, although I don't know, that is probably when you get a guy that, like a Gennady Quickvinya, who I consider to be very, very mentally strong. Didn't show any, I don't think there was ever any mental cracks with him at all.
No, there was no weaknesses. But also, I think because Gennady is such a competitive athlete as well. I remember in 2009 at the World Championships, I don't know if you can remember, he was walking after the match or just before the match, and he was shouting to the crowd. Oh. I mean, he was giving a show at the World Championships.
Mate, I used to love watching him pull. There was a
Yeah,
number of
even
guys,
then.
of which he was the biggest one, really, but there was a number of guys that you knew that they would get so into the match, they would absorb the energy of the match so much, it had to get out. And he would do knee sliders after match. You remember when he used to like spin away and he'd go over the stage and literally slide along the floor. He'd go bananas. And it was visceral. It was cool as hell to watch. Another guy that did it a lot
Yeah.
was Artem Tainov.
Yes.
Remember when he'd get in matches and he'd stop a guy at the base of the hook? And one thing that both he and Gennady did a lot of was if the match stopped and they'd turn to the crowd and shout. I had no freaking idea what they were shouting, but I know they meant it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was
And
awesome.
that's what the people wants to see. And I think Devon brings that to the table. Everybody wants to see Devon compete. I mean, I think also the guys in the comments, the guys viewing this video and so on, they must also help this scenario to not escalate any further. So I think the fans also, when you get somebody talking about this or they see a comment, we must end this story in the tracks now. I think it's been pulled through the mud for a long time now. I think we can
I agree, mate.
just ignore it now.
I'm conscious of the fact that whether it's just me or what, or because I know both men, or I don't know, but I get it. Yeah, it's fun and there's drama and everybody talks about it, and it actually there's probably some benefit in that viewing figures go up on people's channels and things like that. I get it. But when it's gone on this long and every day there's something backwards and forwards and it's not, and it's pretty much rehashed versions of the same stuff and going into detail that you don't necessarily need to see. I find it pretty piss boring, if I'm honest.
No, I'm also done with this.
I prefer that kind of stuff within a match context. Awesome, yeah, good stuff. There's a degree where that helps a great deal. But when it's nothing to do with matches and I can't be bothered with it, mate.
Yeah, I think what we need is a new card. We need a card building up to a big competition.
Yeah.
I don't know at what venue, but I think that's what the fans need now. I think that's what arm wrestling needs. Like I said, we only have one platform. We have almost, and we have one platform, East versus West, because King of the Table, I don't know if it's going to go on. But as far as I heard, it's not going on. So we only have one platform. So I don't know PAL, if it's going to start up again. I don't know if World Arm Wrestling League is going to start up again. The UAL. Everything is dead now. So if we're going to let this one break, where are we going to compete? And that's the problem.
I can't. I mean, if it for this situation to prevent East versus West would be lunacy.
No, it will be crazy.
Because there's so much of the issues are coming from things that aren't actual reality. It would be bloody travesty. But anyway, what will be, mate. What will be. Let's knock over these super chats and we'll jump off here because we've been on for a long period of time. Before I do these last couple of super chats, guys, I just want to say thank you to everybody that's tuned in, checked it out. I can't actually see how many people we've got watching for some reason. I don't know why, but I had to press a button to get the chat on tonight, and for some reason my little icons where the number of likes and viewers and so on I can't see, but I'm assuming we've probably had quite a few people on at the moment. For everybody that's tuned in and checked out the show, I want to say massive thank you to everybody for taking your time and for tuning in and checking it out. If while you're in here you don't mind hitting that like button, that'd be excellent. It just helps the channel a great deal. Small thing, but it's a big one for us. And also, guys, please give us a sub while you're here. But even more importantly, please go and give this guy a sub, because Terence Opperman is a lovely dude. He is awesome. He's been around this game forever. He's a superb arm wrestler and a much better bloke. So please go over and show some love to this man. He's in South Africa. He's isolated there, doesn't have a great deal of training partners, but the man's so much to give, so much to offer, so much experience and a wealth of knowledge. He's been in the sport forever. And Terence is just getting into online now, getting his message out there, and wants to talk to you, the arm wrestling community, about what he's doing and the situation out in South Africa. He's their signature arm wrestler based in South Africa, and he's been the overall champion of South Africa for how many years now, mate?
Well, I started to be number one in South Africa in 2009.
2009. He's been the best in South Africa. And as you heard earlier, he believes that he is the best in the Southern Hemisphere and wants to prove it very badly. So we'd like to see him get out there and get that shot. That would be absolutely awesome. And if you want to see Terence pulling hard battles, all the YouTube channel members and Arm Wars, that's coming out. I can give you the dates of that also. I've had a lot of messages while I've been away this weekend. When is the Iron House coming out and the Titan House? So Saturday, 19th of July and Saturday, 26th of July will be the As Lives. Remember, it is not live from the Iron House 5. Following that, immediately following that, we will be going into the Titan House off the back of that with Eddie Hall, Brian Shaw, Lawrence Charlet, Rob Brampton, Rebecca Roberts, and so on and so on. So please, guys, note those in your diary. If you're not a YouTube channel member for Arm Wars, check it out. It is quality stuff, and you're going to see some unbelievable matches. Let me tell you now. The benefit you've got is
some great matches.
Oh my God. Career enders coming up. Absolute career enders. 19th of July, 26th of July. We'll be putting out the Freeview show. We start, for anybody who doesn't know, with Arm Wars, we put the Freeview matches on first. So we'll put a couple of Freeview matches on before the event starts. And that will be, I would imagine, from 8 p.m. UK time. 9 p.m. we will have the matches on the channel behind the paywall for all our YouTube channel members. Super cheap, guys. 2 weeks of Iron House and then into the Titan House. So get over there and get it checked out. The link is actually in the description. You can see that there. Let's knock over these super chats. Luke Pulsher, what a dude, is in the chat. He's put, so next week, back to arm wrestling talk. Mate, thank Christ, eh? I hope that is the case. I really, really, really do. I think everybody's sick of it now. I know Devon clearly was sick of it tonight. He's had enough. I'm sure Engin, to be honest, feels the same. I mean, it must be, to be honest, must be exhausting to continually talk about that all the time. It must drive you nuts. Tom Frick, thank you for your super chat, Tom. Really generous of you, mate. Couldn't EVW get opponents from South America, Australia, England? They may not have be the very best, but they could. I've moved forward and find other talent. Most mainstream sports viewers are not aware of EVW anyway. To be honest, mate, there's some amazing matches in all countries in arm wrestling. One of the biggest things and why East versus West has been awesome and is awesome is because you are seeing a mix of guys. Some of them are not the very best in the world, but some of them are the very best in the world across those weight classes. And that's great to see. And I, for one, hope that continues and East versus West gets bigger than it's ever been. It was amazing to be in Chicago and to watch. The crowds there were fantastic. The fans there were rabid. It was just awesome. And that's why this is such a frustrating scenario. It really, really is, because we're in a good place right now with arm wrestling. And we need you guys to help us all get this thing back on track. Let's cut the drama and the nonsense. As you heard tonight, Devon's pretty much put everything out there. I haven't seen Engin's stuff, but I'm pretty sure Engin has done a response. Ray was saying, to be honest, I don't think I'm going to check out either Devon or Engin's. I really can't be bothered. But hopefully everything's been said now, and we can just crack on and get on with the next event. Ione, thank you for your super chat, Neil. He's put, Neil, when you called Devon... God, that's blurred as shit. Neil, when you called Devon No Limits, did you mean his strength or his unlimited pre-match chat with the refs? By the way, love Devon. Don't flame me, guys. No Limits was actually based on Devon's total potential. And it was based around Archimedes' law. So Archimedes' law states, if you give me a lever long enough and a fulcrum strong enough, I will move the world. And he has been doing. Unusual, you find a guy like Devon who's got that complete arsenal, that complete weapons. At that time, he was based around the high hook. That was his biggest thing. And yet, he's super tall, 6'5", super long forearm. But, mate, note to self, as said by the GOAT, John Brzenk, do not hook Devon Larratt.
I remember you told me about the match when you wanted the match with him and Taras Ivankin.
Yes.
And
yeah.
and then you
First
said
match ever put
they
him in.
didn't,
First match.
and I didn't want to. You actually won a bet on that one, right?
I
Or
did,
something.
yes. Won quite a bit of money on that. Many people didn't think that Devon was in the hunt at all. Obviously, Taras at the time was a world champion.
He was very
Devon
good.
was an unknown. But I had a lot of experience pulling with Ivakin, and I experienced pulling with Devon, and I knew that Devon could pull everywhere and anywhere, and I figured that would be a banger, and it was. Devon didn't get the result that day, but we got a snapshot. We got a snapshot of what's to come. And some of the matches that he's been involved in over the years, just crazy. And that's the main thing, guys. It's bigger than this situation at the moment where everybody's focusing in on Engen and Devon and that discussion and the fact that they don't get on. This is involving so many more guys also, who at the moment, if we freeze up the thing and it doesn't move forward, everybody suffers, nobody wins. And that's really the biggest thing that we got to focus on. We'll be bored to tears of this shortly, if you're not already. And then what? So if Azerbaijan's going to go, we need to go all gears forward to make that show happen. For now, if Devon's not going to attend, let's put another match on there. Devon can pull at the next one, either the Show Classic or wherever the next one is. I think it's in September, early September. And then we get back on the bus and keep rolling. And I do believe we may be caught up. We are caught up. So, ladies and gents, I want to say a massive thank you again to everybody for tuning in, checking out the show. I want to say a massive thank you to Terence Opperman, Rolly Ray Lappinge, Devon Larratt for dropping in. And you never know, Engin Terzi might come on shortly on one of the shows also. Always welcome to do so. But ideally not to talk about what we've been talking about tonight. Let's get back into some serious arm wrestling. What I can tell you is that in the coming weeks, we hope to do part 3 of Hermes Gasparini, Deep Inside the Minds chat. And then this young man, we want to get on there as well. So Terence Opperman, we'd like Terence to come on if he's agreeable to do so. We'd love to educate you guys and give you some insight on Terence Opperman, his background, and how he got into the sport and so on, and his extremely long and successful career. So that's things that are coming down the pipe. Remember, Arm Wars 19th and 26th of July for the Iron House. Channel members, you can see that. If you're not a member, join up, super cheap, around £7, and you can see everything, all the back catalogue also. And believe me, the matches will not disappoint. They are ridiculous. Yeah. Ridiculous. No more. Terence Opperman, lovely to see you, mate. Thank you for giving up your time. I know it's late.
Thanks, Neil.
And guys, let's calm it down and crack on. Get back to arm wrestling. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.